Well, good morning, Greg. We're here today at the Kingsview Model Railway. We're going to update some scenery today. And what's our plan for the day?
Okay, well, this here was part of the original layout which Dallas bought. It was just covered with ground foam. So what we're going to do, I'm going to use this spray adhesive here. I'm going to spray that, and then we're going to apply static grass. You might see these brown spots here. This is where, when we took some little trees that were out there, it left the white plaster showing through. Now, no amount of grass is going to cover that, so we've just got a bit of brown acrylic paint. We quickly daub that over the top. The grass will stick to that. When you're actually doing plaster work for the first time, when you're building up your landforms, it's always a good idea either colour the plaster, or after the plaster's dried, you can mix up a very thin wash of brown acrylic paint and just brush that on, and it actually sinks into the white plaster, so that if you do chip it and everything like that, you're not seeing white all the time. So we're going to spray a little bit here. Well, you can see we've masked up the track here because we don't want glue getting all over that. I'll just show you a little bit here how it's going to do. So we spray that on there like that. And then we ground the clip onto the track works. And I don't know whether you can see, but that grass is instantly sticking.
Welcome to the Kingsview Model Railway channel. If you like the videos, please hit that subscribe button. We appreciate your support.
Okay, well, what we've done here, we've just gone over this area here. It was looking a little bit, worn, because these colours tend to fade off a little bit with time. You don't need to rev it up and start again. You can just use a bit of spray adhesive or a little bit of matte spray, put that on as a fixative, and then just go back and apply your grass. I'll just show you. Put a little bit more glue on just down in here.
And it's good in Australia now, of course, now with El Nino, Greg, it's a lot greener than Australia used to be. And this layout reprises the lovely greenness of the countryside, even though we're modelling, southern part of New South Wales. It's as green these days. I mean, those old colours of browns and really light creams, really don't apply anymore. And maybe with a bit of climate change, that this is how layout should look now.
Yeah, exactly. Certainly down in the Lismore area, it's very green down there.
Yeah.
They've had a lot of rain.
So, Greg, we're using this spray glue, and you reckon that works much better than using white glue?
Oh, absolutely. For doing this when you're going over the top, because it's extremely sticky, and as soon as the fibres hit it, they stand up straight away. It's absolutely brilliant. But you do need to be careful because, you need to mask off the bits where you don't want it to go, because the fibres will find their way there if you don't. Now this is a handy little tip. I bought this from Kmart a while ago. I don't know whether they still do them. It's called a pull chopper. And what I do when I want to blend up the fibres, I get 2 or 3 colours that I want to use, and I put it in the container, and then I pull the cord, and that breaks it up and it blends it up, because what often happens with these fibres, the static electricity that builds up, it turns them into little clumps and little tight balls, and you need to loosen up the fibres so that when you put them in your dispenser here, they're going to fly out of the thing. It's a great little device. The cheapest chips, I mean, I can't remember the price, but I'm sure it was under $10. A really good idea for breaking up your fibres. Okay, this was a bare spot where we had a building, so I've sifted some very fine sandy coloured dirt on there and put a bit of ground foam clumps, and now I've got some tufts that I've made which I'm going to stick in there as well, just to get a bit of vegetation going.
You don't need too many, you just need some just to add a bit of a feature.
Yeah.
Because all railways have got weeds in the yards. I've never seen a railway yard without weeds, Greg.
No, and
Weeding wasn't one of their better jobs that was done in railway yards. So Greg, you just got a bit of cardboard each side of the track there, just for masking up.
yeah, you can see where it's all stuck to the cardboard there.
That would have ended up on the track. Make a whole mess of your track.
Yeah, so what we're doing here, Dallas realigned this track. He's moved it out a bit, eased out the tightness of the curve, and trains run through there much better now. So we were left with a piece of bare board. So we're going over, putting a little bit of dirt down first. We're applying that to some neat PVA. I'll wet it down in a minute with some wet water. We're going to go and have some lunch, and then after lunch it will have dried sufficiently. I'll spray it with some adhesive or a matte. I might use a little bit of matte spray, matte varnish, and then I'm going to put some static grass on there just to finish it off.
While we've been waiting for parts to dry, I've actually realigned this track here and actually removed a point that was here, and we've actually realigned this along. We're going to have this little goods shed here, and this area is now going to be a lot easier to shunt and to be able to put some goods trucks in here. This point up here was too tight and actually had a very tight kinked part of the track here, and it hasn't really run very well. So all done now, track's been laid and ballasted. We'll add some scenery to this part a little bit later on. It's quite amazing when you lay your first part of your ballast that, you know, you do find that you do get high and low spots. So in the last hour or so, I've been filling in some of the low spots along the main line here. And you know, when we spray that, it'll look a lot tidier. Well, it's after lunch now, Greg, so
Yeah, time for some grass.
yep, so adding a bit of grass around behind the roundhouse just to integrate it back in.
Yep.
That's just straight over the sandy base that was done before lunch. A little bit more glue, a bit more matte spray.
Okay, well, we've finished here for the day. We're just going to have a quick recap on what we've done. This area here, as I said earlier on, Dallas has realigned this curve here. It was a little bit too sharp. We've eased it out a little bit, and it's made all the difference in running. And as a result, you know, we had bare board there where the old track was. So, you know, we've put down some dirt. I've put static grass in here, and I've gone over the top, and we've tried to blend this in on what was there existing. So if you can hopefully see it, you can see two different colours here. This is a bit drier, this is a little bit greener. And then we moved down here to this area. Originally, all the scenery in this area was like this here, but we've gone back now and I've put more static grass, and over the top of it we had some grass patches in here, but we've just put static grass over the top of that. And when you get down close, you can see that this is about 3 or 4 millimeters longer than this, which is the way you're going to find it in nature anyway. You know, it's not always a uniform grass height. Some of it grows taller because it gets a bit more moisture in it. We've done more grass on the top here. We used the very small, or the short ones here, only 2.5 to 3 millimeters. we did right across the top of this ridge line here and all the way down into there.